Back. Every woman carries unspoken desires in her heart, needs so deep she rarely puts them into words. It's not about wealth, status, or appearance. It's about respect that doesn't fade. Back. Security that doesn't break, love that doesn't demand conditions, and freedom to simply be herself. These are the silent truths every woman longs for but will never say out loud. And once you understand them, back, you will never look at life, love, or relationships the same way again. Welcome to Connected Souls. I'm Leila Hormozi, here to help you heal, grow, back, and thrive in love. Respect is the silent foundation of every meaningful relationship, every bond, and every connection in life. It goes far deeper than surface level admiration or occasional praise. Back. When a woman receives genuine respect, she feels seen not just as a role she plays, but as the full human being she is. Back. It is not about clapping for her achievements or giving her fleeting recognition when she does something extraordinary, but about valuing her presence even when she is quiet, still, or not in the spotlight. Respect acknowledges her intelligence, her decisions, her boundaries, and her worth without needing to be reminded. Every woman carries within her a desire to be valued for more than what the eye can see it back. And respect grants her that validation. It tells her she does not need to constantly prove herself to be worthy of love or attention. It allows her to stand tall without fear of being diminished or dismissed. Respect is not demanded. It is given freely by those who understand the true measure of value. Too often, recognition is mistaken for respect, but they are not the same. Recognition can be temporary, shallow, back, and tied to performance or achievement. A woman may be recognized for a success in her career, for her beauty, or for her ability to support others, but recognition fades quickly when circumstances change. Respect, back, however, does not depend on conditions or achievements. It is consistent and unshakable, rooted in the acknowledgement of her dignity and humanity. When she is respected, she doesn't need to constantly win approval back, because she already holds value in the eyes of others. Recognition can feel like a spotlight that shines for a moment and then disappears. It back, while respect feels like the steady warmth of the sun that remains even when the day grows difficult. This difference matters deeply because recognition may make her feel appreciated for a while back, but respect makes her feel safe, secure, and truly valued. Respect is not just about the words spoken, it lives in actions and attitudes. It is in the way someone listens when she speaks back, without interrupting or dismissing her thoughts. It is in the willingness to honor her boundaries and not push her into situations that make her uncomfortable. Respect shows up when her choices are taken seriously back, even if they are different from what others expect. It is revealed when her time is valued, her contributions are acknowledged, and her individuality is celebrated instead of being compared or diminished. A woman notices when she is respected, even in the smallest gestures, and those moments carry more weight than any grand recognition. Respect means she is not objectified, silenced, or overlooked back, but instead given the freedom to express who she truly is without fear. It is a quiet form of love, stronger than any praise. When respect is absent, even recognition loses its meaning. Back. Applause and compliments may sound sweet, but they feel hollow when the underlying foundation of respect is missing. A woman can be admired for her beauty while her opinions are ignored. Back. She can be applauded for her work while her boundaries are crossed. She can be recognized publicly while being disrespected privately. And the emptiness of that dynamic is something she feels deeply. This is why respect is not optional. It is essential. Without it, no relationship, whether personal or professional, can thrive. Respect protects her from being reduced to a role, a title, or an object. Back. It preserves her identity, reminding her that she is not just valuable for what she gives, but also for who she is. Recognition without respect is shallow, but respect without recognition still holds power. Back. The beauty of respect is that it empowers without demanding change. It doesn't try to reshape her into someone else's idea of perfection. Instead, it honors her uniqueness as it is. Back. Every woman has a different journey, different scars, and different dreams, and respect acknowledges all of that without judgment. It gives her room to grow at her own pace and in her own direction. Back. Respect communicates trust, saying, I believe in your ability to make choices for yourself. This trust is powerful because it frees her from the constant need to explain or justify her decisions. It creates an environment where she feels supported instead of controlled. And in that environment, her confidence blossoms, her potential unfolds, and her spirit feels lighter. Respect also creates balance. In a world where women are often expected to give endlessly, to nurture, to care, to sacrifice, it is respect that gives back to her. It is respect that reminds her she deserves as much as she gives. Take it back. She does not want to ask for it directly because respect should not have to be requested. It should be natural. But deep down, every woman desires it, even if she never says it aloud. Back. Respect is not about superiority or submission. It is about equality. It is about looking at her and saying, you matter just as much as anyone else. That balance allows her to feel whole, not depleted. Back. It makes her feel she is not invisible, not replaceable, but irreplaceably valuable. Respect also has the power to strengthen her resilience. Life will throw challenges her way, but when she knows she is respected, she draws strength from it. It becomes an anchor that grounds her during storms. Even if she faces criticism, rejection, or setbacks, it back. The respect she carries within her and receives from others helps her keep moving forward. It fuels her determination to stand again because she knows she is more than her failures and more than her successes. Back, respect reminds her that she has an intrinsic worth that cannot be taken away by circumstances. And when that respect is given consistently, it shapes the way she views herself, making her less dependent on the shifting opinions of others. There is also a quiet healing power in respect. So many women carry wounds from being disrespected, silenced, or overlooked in the past. Back. These wounds are often invisible, yet they influence the way she trusts, the way she loves, and the way she dreams. When she is truly respected, those wounds begin to heal. Back. Every moment of respect is like a message that tells her she deserves better, that she is enough, and that her presence is valued. This healing cannot come from empty recognition or shallow flattery. It comes from consistent actions that show genuine regard for her worth. Respect is a balm that restores her faith in herself and in others. Respect is also timeless. Looks may fade, achievements may be forgotten, and titles may be lost, but respect never grows old. It remains relevant and powerful at every stage of her life. A young woman wants to be respected for her choices as she learns who she is becoming. A woman in her career wants respect for her expertise and contributions. A mother wants respect for the sacrifices and love she pours into her family. An older woman wants respect for her wisdom and experience. At every stage, respect speaks louder than any recognition because it affirms her humanity beyond roles and appearances. In truth, respect is one of the deepest unspoken desires in every woman's heart. She may not voice it, because respect is not something to beg for. It is something that should come naturally. But she feels its absence deeply when it is not there, and she blossoms when it is given. Respect is not complicated, yet it is profound. It can transform relationships, empower her confidence, and restore her spirit in ways recognition never could. Respect tells her she is not just someone to be noticed occasionally, someone to be valued always. And that is what she truly wants, even if she never says it aloud. Security is one of the deepest needs a woman carries, but it is often misunderstood. Many assume that security is only about financial stability or material possessions, yet its meaning goes much further. True security is about the peace of mind that comes from knowing she is not alone in her struggles, that she will not be abandoned when life becomes difficult. It is about the assurance that her vulnerabilities will not be exploited, but instead protected. She longs for an environment where she can be her authentic self without fear of being judged or betrayed. This form of security does not rely on money or status. It comes from consistency, loyalty, and the steady presence of someone she can trust. A woman feels secure when she knows her heart is safe, her voice is heard, and her dreams are supported rather than dismissed. Security, in its deepest form, is about stability that frees her from the constant need to worry. Financial stability is only one small piece of the puzzle, because money without emotional safety still leaves her feeling exposed. She may live in a comfortable home and enjoy the luxuries of life, but if her emotional world feels fragile, then she is never truly at peace. What she craves is the quiet comfort of reliability, the knowledge that words spoken to her will be honored, promises will be kept, and loyalty will not be questioned. Security means she doesn't have to constantly wonder if she is loved today but forgotten tomorrow. It is about consistency in actions, not just words. She may never openly ask for it, but deep within, every woman longs for this steady reassurance. It is the anchor that holds her steady in the storms of life, giving her the courage to face challenges without feeling abandoned. Emotional security is the freedom to be vulnerable without fear of being ridiculed or dismissed. It is the ability to express her fears, her doubts, and even her flaws without them being used against her. This kind of security creates a sacred space where she can let down her guard and simply be herself. It means that her mistakes will not define her worth, and her emotions will not be weaponized. A woman feels a deep sense of peace when she knows that even in her weakest moments, she will not be pushed away or made to feel small. Emotional security allows her to open her heart fully, to trust deeply, and to invest her love without holding back. It is the soil in which lasting connections grow, because without it, love becomes fragile and conditional. Security also means dependability in the smallest of things. Not just about grand gestures or major life decisions, but about the everyday consistency that builds trust. When someone shows up when they say they will, listens when she needs to be heard, and stands by her in moments of uncertainty, that reliability creates a foundation she can rest on. She does not need perfection, she needs presence. She notices when words align with actions, when promises are kept, and when her needs are not overlooked. This everyday dependability may not be glamorous, but it carries immense weight. It tells her that she matters, that her place is secure, and that she can let go of unnecessary fears. In a world that often feels uncertain, this reliability is priceless. Security also extends into the realm of trust. Trust is not given lightly. It is earned over time through consistency and honesty. When trust is strong, a woman feels safe to build her future without hesitation. She does not waste energy on suspicion, doubt, or fear of betrayal. Instead, she can focus her heart and mind on growth, love, and purpose. Security in trust means she does not have to look over her shoulder or question hidden motives. It creates space for freedom, because she knows that what is shared with her will not be taken away without reason. Trust transforms her experience of life from guarded to open, from anxious to peaceful. That is the kind of security that every woman desires, even if she does not put it into words. Beyond emotional and relational security, there is also the need for safety in her identity. Society often imposes expectations on women, how they should act, what they should pursue, and how they should appear. True security is found when she is free to step outside of these imposed boxes and embrace her authentic self. It is the freedom to choose her own path, to make mistakes, and to grow without fear of rejection. When her identity is respected, she feels secure enough to take risks and chase her dreams. She is not afraid of failure because she knows her worth is not tied to success alone. This kind of security liberates her to live fully without shrinking herself to fit someone else's standards. A woman also desires security in the sense of emotional protection. Life brings inevitable challenges, and while she may be strong enough to face them, she still longs to know she has support. She wants to feel that her struggles will not be ignored or belittled, but acknowledged with empathy. Take it back. Security means she does not have to carry the weight of the world alone, even though she is capable of incredible strength. Knowing that someone will stand beside her in her battles gives her the courage to keep moving forward. It lightens her burden and reminds her that she is not invisible in her pain. Emotional protection is not about shielding her from reality, but about walking with her through it. True security also gives her the freedom to love without fear. When she feels secure, her heart opens fully because she knows it is safe. She can give generously, care deeply, and invest herself completely without worrying that her love will be taken for granted or discarded. This freedom transforms relationships from fragile to unbreakable, because love rooted in security is steady and enduring. She may never admit it aloud, but this is often what she desires most, the assurance that her love is safe. Insecurity breeds doubt, jealousy, and fear, but true security fosters peace, trust, and joy. Allows love to flourish without the constant shadow of uncertainty. Security is also about stability across time. A woman wants to know that the ground beneath her feet will not suddenly shift without warning. She longs for the stability that allows her to plan, to dream, and to build without fear that it will all crumble tomorrow. Stability does not mean that life will be free of hardship, but it means that even in hardship, she can count on certain constants. This allows her to invest herself fully in her future, knowing she will not be left unsupported. The ability to look forward with hope rather than fear is one of the greatest gifts that security provides. At its core, security is not about control or possession. It is about freedom. It frees her from the constant weight of worry, from the fear of abandonment, and from the anxiety of uncertainty. It gives her the confidence to step boldly into life, to express herself honestly, and to pursue her goals without hesitation. Security gives her the space to grow, the courage to love, and the peace to rest. It is invisible, yet its presence is felt in every aspect of her life. And while she may never voice this desire, remains one of the most powerful and unspoken needs of her heart. Love is one of the most powerful forces in existence, but the kind of love every woman secretly longs for goes beyond what is commonly seen or spoken about. It is not a love that depends on perfection or constant performance, but a love that remains steady even when she falters. This kind of love is unconditional, a love that embraces her flaws and imperfections instead of using them as reasons to withhold affection. She may not openly admit it, but deep within her heart, she yearns for a connection that does not demand her to always be strong, always be beautiful, or always have everything figured out. It is love that allows her to be vulnerable without fear of rejection. True love whispers, "You are enough exactly as you are." And this silent affirmation is often her greatest unspoken desire. Conditional love can feel suffocating because it ties worthiness to performance. If she succeeds, she feels celebrated, but if she fails, she fears she will no longer be valued. This creates a cycle where she feels pressured to constantly prove herself, to always meet expectations, and to hide her weaknesses. Yet deep down, she longs for the freedom to be accepted without conditions attached. She wants to be loved not just when she is at her best, but also when she is exhausted, uncertain, or broken. This kind of love becomes a safe place where she can breathe, where she doesn't have to wear a mask, and where her soul can finally rest. Without unconditional love, relationships may look whole on the surface but feel empty at their core. Unconditional love is not about overlooking flaws blindly. It is about choosing to value the person beyond the imperfections. A woman desires to know that her worth is not erased by her mistakes, that her failures do not define her, and that her humanity does not make her unlovable. She longs for love that sees her fully, her strengths, her scars, her dreams, and even her doubts, and still chooses to stay. This love offers reassurance in a world that constantly tells her she is not enough. It tells her that she does not need to earn affection by being perfect, nor fear losing it when she shows her real self. This unconditional acceptance becomes the soil where her confidence, trust, and growth can flourish. There is also a quiet yearning for love that celebrates her uniqueness instead of trying to change her. Too often, love is tied to expectations. Be more this, be less that, try harder, or fit into a mold. Yet what she craves is love that honors her individuality, her passions, and her voice. This kind of love does not silence her or diminish her spirit, but instead amplifies it. It delights in who she already is, rather than demanding that she become someone else. To be truly seen and embraced for her authentic self is one of the most powerful experiences she can have. This form of love allows her to bloom in ways she never could if she were constantly trying to measure up to an impossible standard. Love without conditions also creates security, back because it assures her that she will not be abandoned when life gets hard. When affection is tied to convenience, it disappears when difficulties arise, leaving her feeling disposable. But unconditional love stands firm in the storms, reminding her that her presence matters even when the skies are dark. This reliability brings her peace because she knows she does not have to fear being left behind when she is struggling. Such love is not fragile, it endures, it forgives, and it chooses to remain even when circumstances are not ideal. This assurance allows her to face challenges with courage, knowing she's not facing them alone. Every woman also carries the silent desire to be loved for her soul, not just her surface. The world often celebrates beauty, charm, and success, but these things are fleeting and ever-changing. She wants love that goes deeper than appearances, that sees the fire in her spirit and the tenderness in her heart. She longs for love that values her laughter, her thoughts, her resilience, and her compassion more than the temporary features the world praises. Such love does not fade with time, because it is not tied to what can be lost. It is tied to who she truly is. When she feels love for her essence, she no longer fears growing older, changing, or stumbling along the way. This deep love liberates her from insecurity. Unconditional love also gives her the freedom to love fully in return. When she knows she will not be judged or discarded for her imperfections, she opens her heart without reservation. She pours herself into her relationships without the constant fear of betrayal or disappointment. This openness creates depth, intimacy, and trust that cannot be built on shallow conditional affection. She may never voice it, but this is often what she wants most, to give and receive love that does not shrink in the face of flaws. This cycle of unconditional giving and receiving creates bonds that are nearly unbreakable because they are not built on fleeting conditions but on timeless commitment. The absence of unconditional love, however, leaves scars that run deep. When love feels conditional, she may begin to believe she is only worthy when she is perfect, beautiful, or successful. This belief weighs heavily, causing her to suppress her true self out of fear of rejection. Over time, it erodes her confidence and dims her light. But when unconditional love enters her life, it begins to heal those hidden wounds. Every consistent act of acceptance becomes a reminder that she does not have to earn love by being flawless. This healing is powerful because it restores her ability to trust, to hope, and to embrace herself fully. Unconditional love is rare, yet it is what makes life rich and relationships enduring. It does not come from fleeting attraction or convenience, but from deliberate choice. It is a love that remains steady not because everything is easy, but because it values connection over comfort. A woman may never say it aloud, but this is the love she dreams of. Love that holds her hand when she is strong and when she is weak. Love that celebrates her joys and endures her sorrows. Love that does not withdraw when life is messy. This is the love that makes her feel alive, seen, and cherished in ways recognition, admiration, or surface-level affection never could. At the deepest level, what every woman truly wants but often will not say is to be loved without conditions. Not for her achievements, not for her appearance, and not for her ability to give, but for her essence. To know that even when she falters, even when she doubts, even when she feels unworthy, the love she receives will not be taken away. That assurance becomes her anchor, her strength, and her greatest source of peace. It is not a luxury, but a necessity for her soul. And though she may carry this desire quietly within her, its presence shapes the way she trusts and the way she dreams of a life that feels whole. Freedom is one of the most profound desires in every woman's heart, yet it is rarely expressed openly. From a young age, society often begins placing expectations on her, how she should behave, what roles she should play, and what dreams are acceptable to chase. These invisible chains create an unspoken pressure that follows her into adulthood, shaping her choices and silencing parts of her identity. She may smile on the outside while quietly longing for the space to simply be herself without explanation or apology. Freedom is not about rebellion, it is about authenticity. It is the ability to show up as the person she truly is without being forced to shrink or hide her voice. This freedom is not a luxury, but a necessity for her spirit, because without it, she feels trapped in a life that does not belong to her. The freedom she desires is the right to say no without guilt. Too often, women are conditioned to put others first, to sacrifice their own well-being for the sake of harmony, and to carry burdens that are not theirs to bear. Yet deep down, she longs for the ability to set boundaries without being judged or labeled as selfish. Saying no is not about rejecting others, it is about protecting her energy, her dreams, and her peace. When she is free to choose where her time and heart go, she is able to live with purpose rather than exhaustion. This freedom allows her to invest in what truly matters to her instead of constantly pleasing those around her. It is one of the quiet desires she rarely expresses, but one that shapes her happiness. She also longs for the freedom to pursue her passions without fear of criticism. Whether it is a career, a creative pursuit, or a personal dream, every woman carries aspirations that light her soul on fire. Yet so many hesitate to chase them fully because of the weight of judgment from others who expect her to conform. True freedom is when she can step boldly into her purpose without the fear of being diminished. It is the ability to grow without being confined to outdated roles or limited expectations. She wants to be celebrated for her courage to follow her path, not questioned for straying from tradition. This freedom to dream and to pursue those dreams is what gives her life richness and meaning. Another form of freedom she deeply desires is the freedom to express her emotions without being silenced. Back. Society often tells women they are too emotional, too sensitive, or too dramatic, dismissing their feelings as weakness. Yet emotions are not weakness, they are humanity. She longs for the space to feel without judgment. Back. To cry without shame, to celebrate without restraint, and to share her heart without being told she is too much. Freedom means she can honor her emotions as part of her strength rather than something to suppress. Back. It gives her the ability to connect deeply, to heal, and to live fully. This kind of freedom restores dignity to her inner world, reminding her that she is allowed to feel everything she feels. Back. There is also the freedom to exist without comparison. In a world that constantly pits women against each other, through beauty standards, career achievements, or lifestyles, she quietly craves liberation from this endless competition. She does not want to be measured against someone else's journey because her path is her own. Comparison robs her of peace. Back. Making her feel either inferior or pressured to prove herself. Freedom, in this sense, is the right to embrace her individuality and be at peace with her own timing. It is the ability to look in the mirror and say, back, I am enough as I am, without the noise of comparison drowning her voice. This freedom is not about being better than others, but about fully owning her own story. Freedom also exists in the realm of self-expression. Back. Every woman has a unique way of showing who she is, through her style, her words, her art, her choices, and even her silence. Yet too often, she feels the need to conform to what others expect her to present. Deep down, she wants the freedom to express herself authentically without fear of judgment or rejection. Whether she chooses boldness or simplicity, she wants to know that her choices are hers to make, not dictated by external pressures. This freedom allows her to feel aligned with herself, to live in harmony with her truth, and to radiate confidence that comes from being genuine. Back, it is one of the purest forms of liberation and one she values deeply. The freedom she longs for also includes the right to grow and change without being held hostage to her past. People often expect women to remain the same, to keep fitting into the boxes they once occupied. But growth is natural and transformation is necessary. She wants the freedom to evolve without being criticized for no longer fitting the expectations others placed on her. Whether she chooses a new career, redefines her identity, or changes her perspective, she wants her growth to be respected rather than questioned. This freedom allows her to embrace every new chapter with courage instead of guilt. It is the acknowledgement that she has the right to rewrite her story as many times as she needs. In her relationships, freedom means the ability to be herself without fear of rejection. Too often, love can become a space of control rather than support. She longs for a love that gives her room to breathe, to make choices, and to maintain her individuality. She does not want to be confined back, but to be cherished for who she is. This freedom creates healthier connections because it allows her to give love freely, without resentment, and to receive love without fear. Back, it transforms relationships into partnerships where both individuals thrive instead of cages where one person sacrifices their identity. When she is free in love, she flourishes back because she knows she is valued not just for what she gives, but for who she truly is. Freedom ultimately allows her to live life on her terms, not according to someone else's script. Back, it gives her the courage to explore, to create, to rest, and to dream in ways that align with her heart. Without freedom, she may survive, but she will not thrive. It is this freedom that unlocks her potential and allows her to contribute her gift to the world in the most powerful way. Every woman, even if she never voices it, quietly desires this liberation. Back, she may not always ask for it out loud, but her soul longs for it in silence. It is not about rejecting the roles given to her, but about embracing them in her own way, with her own voice, and with her own choices leading the way. And when she finally receives that freedom, her light shines brighter than ever before. She becomes more confident, more loving, more resilient, and more at peace. Back, she no longer lives in fear of judgment, rejection, or comparison, but in the joy of authenticity. Her life becomes a reflection of her true self rather than a shadow of others' expectations. Back. This is the kind of freedom that transforms not only her life, but also the lives of those around her, because a woman who is free inspires others to embrace their own authenticity. Back. And though she may never always say it aloud, this freedom is what she longs for most, because in it she finds her truest happiness, her deepest strength, and her most authentic self. If this touched your heart, back, don't forget to subscribe and join our soul family.